Okay, for this new boss, they basically took the problems that the original boss fight Augur had and kind of multiplied them by 10 or something. Now, this boss is it's probably gonna seem a little difficult or like a bit rough the first time you play it, but it's not as bad as it might seem. Because they gave us a special weapon to deal with the boss just constantly running away. But I do feel like the mechanics are very like lackluster. It kind of feels like you're chasing after this thing that has like turrets on its back, and like the and like they just firing off projectiles and they're flying at you. It feels very automated. It's not like the boss itself is fighting, but like something on his back is just firing back at you. And yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I don't think it's very interactive. I don't think it's very fun. Just chasing the boss around, trying to hit it out of the air. I feel like they definitely could have did something, especially with the tentacles from like the first boss. Maybe they could have expanded on that or something, or made it more interactive or interesting like that. But they kind of just, like I said, put the bad elements from the initial fight, and here we are. But yeah, not at my rant side of the way. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fight the boss. I'm gonna thoroughly kind of explain like what's going on, how to deal with each phase, or how to deal with the boss's mechanics, and also um kind of generally what you want to look for. Okay, so going into this fight, something that I would advise is to pick a character that has like pretty good survivability. If it's your first run, this boss is gonna have a lot of health, and you're gonna need to be able to sustain yourself. If you can't sustain, then you're not gonna have a good time like learning the boss mechanics and surviving or like finishing the fight out. So I recommend somebody like Wilder, Raider, and while you're running through the open world, try to be looking for magic defense. You get you some magic damage negation, and you'll be able to tank a lot of the projectile attacks pretty easily until you learn how to dodge them or learn the timing for it. The first phase here is just, you know, beat the original Augur. It's not that big a deal. He's gonna phase transition, and once he swaps to his second phase, that's kind of when the fight starts. One other thing that I would recommend is doing this in like I did it in duo mode. You could do it solo, or like I recommend like something like duo to scale it down the first time, so like it don't take so long to kill them though, because a lot of my teammates in the three-player co-op, they would often die, and that would be the end of it. Like once they go down and you're trying to fight a boss with three times the health that already has a lot of health, that your teammates are not contributing to, it's not gonna be fun. But yeah, but starting off this phase, you get this weapon, and it's basically I don't think it's infinite range, but like it's something that has an insane amount of range on it, and it can kind of go across the map, and it has a charging effect. So once the attack is fully charged, you can stop channeling it to charge it, and you will still have that charge left. So like you can drop your weapon stance and then move around, run around, and you'll still be able to fire off that attack. Whenever you want to, you can kind of just go back into your stance and then fire off the attack, and it'll still shoot off the projectile, like the slash from top to bottom. Um, Something else to mention about the slash attack. So any projectiles coming from the boss, the slash attack will destroy them. And while you're channeling or charging the weapon up to cast the throw an attack off, it actually regenerates your FP. And like once the boss start getting those orbs around them, you'll notice that if you slash into those orbs when they're firing at you, it'll also like you'll kind of um negate the damage while you're in the animation of your charge attack. So you'll probably see at some point like that's what happens. But the basic idea here is to, avoid taking damage. when you can. Make sure you watch out for it has like a beam attack that's gonna shoot at the ground, like right there. That beam attack will do quite a bit of damage. Like I have a lot of magic damage negation on right now, and that still hurt a lot. So try to look out for that. The water wave is pretty slow. You can kind of dodge it really easily. Those ores that explode, they can do quite a bit of damage as well. And I can't tell, but it kind of seems like they have like this weird hitbox detection where even if you're like mid roll where the immunity frame should be, you'll still get hit by it. So I don't know if you can actually dodge roll those if you're right on top of it. Like I feel like you probably still get hit. But the important thing also for the boss's main mechanic, which is his sleep phase. I just destroyed one of those orbs right there. So if the boss enters his sleep phase, you need to charge up your weapon, and then you need to hit one of those orbs, one of those blue orbs around the boss, and that will knock him out of his sleep animation effect, and that'll cancel the phase out. So when that happens, it'll go into like a stance break, and you won't be able to critically hit him, but you will be able to get a lot of damage off at that point. But yeah, and the rest of the boss fight, like right there, I should have used my ult. You can ult the sleep phase if you're not close enough, because I was out of range and I wasn't able to hit him. So you can just use your ult to negate the damage or negate the sleep effect. That caused my teammate to go down too. We both should have ulted there just to avoid the damage since we wasn't in range to get the attack off. But yeah, the rest of the fight though is just patience. Make sure you're being patient. Take your time. Don't try to rush it because it's just gonna take a long time anyway. It's a long fight. Like I said, they kind of took the boss and multiplied his health. Like his health feels like 8 times the amount of health he normally has. So it takes a while to kill him. Like in 3-player co-op, if two of your teammates go down, you're like it's gonna take forever to solo that boss. It takes a long time. You'll hit him with a full charge attack, and his health bar barely moves. So it's just a long fight. But yeah, but it's also very like repetitive. Like I only feel like the boss has 3 real attacks, and that's when it fires off all these projectiles, when it shoots the lasers from the blue orbs, and when it shoots the one laser out of his main head. That's like the only memorable attacks I really feel like it has. Like sometimes it'll dash at you, but like most of the time that's all you're dealing with. Well, that and the giant wave. Yeah. So the boss feels very lackluster in my opinion. I don't I didn't really enjoy it too much. But yeah. It was nice aesthetic wise. Had some nice visual effects and whatnot, but it could definitely use some extra mechanics. But yeah, right there you see I hit the orb and it broke its stance. So like now he's down for a little while, and you can just kind of just well off. You can kind of just go to town on him. Yep. Just throw out a bunch of attacks. You don't even really have to charge your attacks up. You can just start spamming with slashes, and it'll still do a lot of DPS. But yeah, as far as I know, this ability also it scales with like if you have increased skill damage because you use the FP. If you have increased magic damage, I think that might increase its damage as well. So like you're looking for passives that either give you magic damage negation or the damage effects. So like anything that boosts raw damage, like stuff that gives you extra damage if you have full health, extra damage if you have low health, stuff like that. Just raw damage increases. That's the best bet when it comes to scaling your weapon. It doesn't really matter what weapon you come into this boss fight with because you're gonna have to use the weapon they give you anyway. So like whatever weapon you find out on day 1 and day 2, that's just for day 1 and day 2 bosses. You're not gonna really use it for anything else. But yeah, the boss fight wasn't too bad. Like I said, I don't know. It could have been better in my opinion, but yeah. Hopefully this guide helped though. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.